right, everybody, Clint from The Doorway too, hanging out with Dave from Spread the Disease, or maybe I should call him Gandalf for this entire trip. So, um, anyway, Dave, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and so we can start this off. So,
yeah, I'm a musician, a fine artist, printmaker, and I got my band back together. That's basically it.
awesome. So that was going to be my first question. Thanks for jumping right into it. Why 20 plus years of no music would spread the disease?
Well, the first time we broke up was in, I think it was like 99 or 2000, right around there. And it was because one of us went away to university and it just kind of fell apart. And then when I went back to university myself, and then halfway through, I was having a conversation with he was the guitar player, and I was like, why don't we just write music again together? And very quickly, we both realized that it basically sounded a lot like Spread the Disease. So we were like, let's just do that. Why not? I mean, the music is the same. So
cool. Awesome. Good example of why you're back. So the next kind of thing I want to talk about is there seems to be like a good equal divide of like hardcore and extreme metal for Spread the Disease. Do you feel like you side with one or the other more, or is it really kind of a mixture of both?
yeah, I mean, for me personally, I don't side with one or the other. I've been listening to both metal and hardcore since the 80s. Even though Spread the Disease was a hardcore band that had lots of black metal influence, now I kind of feel like perhaps it's the other way around. Perhaps it's a metal band with more hardcore influence. In the end, I'll just leave that to other people to decide. To be honest, it's kind of not even really relevant to me to like pinpoint it like that, you know?
Cool. Well, that's kind of funny because here comes the next question. It's going to kind of be in line just for like, I think we're kind of syncing together in thoughts right now.
Okay.
So I feel like there's on this record, especially, there's a lot of like second wave black metal from like Sweden and Poland in the album, where the earlier records had a lot more of a hardcore heart. I agree. There's a lot more of a black metal heart in this one. Was that purposefully done for this new record, or did it just happen organically?
On one level, I would say it was purposefully done because when it comes to heavier music, I don't listen to a lot of heavier music these days anyway, but when it comes to a lot of heavier music, I listen to more metal than I do hardcore. So
okay,
perhaps that's an influence, but really what it boils down to is like I wanted to also try and find a way to expand what I do on guitar. So playing faster, for example, was something I was interested in doing. And playing also, not only that, but also structurally in terms of how the songs line up. There's not a lot of room to breathe. And the reason for that is because I really wanted it to come off like it was very intense. That one of the main overlying themes I had for all the new music was I just wanted to be more intense. So
nice. And then I'm going to talk about the hardcore side, because the hardcore I hear is my old school love of hardcore. So like Starkweather, like Ringworm, like Integrity. That's the kind of stuff I hear. Like, yeah, that's the kind. Yeah, that's my love. So like I say, like I'm 54 years old. So I grew up during, that period of hardcore, are those your loves too? Because I hear so much Ringworm and Integrity and like Starkweather in your music. So
look, Starkweather is like really at the top of the list in terms of those old hardcore bands. Oh my God, Starkweather was so good. And of course, early Integrity for sure. I never really dove into Ringworm all that much, but everything I've ever heard, I'm like, okay, yes, this is great. Yeah, for me, it was really all about diving into the sort of what would be considered like the more evil side of hardcore, or the darker side of hardcore. So
cool, awesome. So we're on the same page here too. I feel good about this again.
Yeah, you nailed it.
That's awesome. So let's talk about with Hypathrial now, right? So how did that happen? Because they're a super cool label. Like every time I talk to them, they're cool folks and they like really support their bands. Now, you seem like a band that's a little bit outside the fringes of what they do. So I kind of was like shocked to hear your record on their label. But how did you hook up with them?
Okay, so years ago when I was trying to get, I was on a mission to try and get a lot of my older bands material that didn't make it onto vinyl to finally get onto vinyl. So
Nice.
I had put out, I was looking for a lot of people and emailing a lot of people, messaging people saying, I'm looking for someone to put out the Spread the Disease, We Bleed from Many Wounds record out on vinyl. And Chris from Hypethral got in touch and was just like, yep, I'll do it. And, after a lot of conversation, we've become good friends now. I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but essentially he told me that, without Spread the Disease doing what we did in this sort of Southern Ontario thing, he would not be doing what he's doing. So he said essentially Hypethral came out of the whole like scene that we had been doing, and that he had been sort of following along in those same sort of footsteps in the scene. So made me feel great, like amazing that I would have that kind of effect on people. And of course, he puts out a lot more like metal, doom, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But to be thought of so highly by him was just it was an automatic yes. I'm like, yes, you want to put out my record, and yes, I want to be on your awesome label. Let's go. So
Win and win. Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
So the last part of this puzzle for me musically is there's a very Crust element to what you guys do.
Okay.
And like what I'm talking about is like that earlier kind of mid-temp period At the Gates kind of Crust vibe, and like His Hero Is Gone mixed together.
Okay.
So like I said, that's the other element. So if I mix black metal, hardcore, and Crust, this is why I love your records, the new records, so much.
Okay.
How do you feel Crust plays a role into your sound and your style?
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. Again, you hit the nail on the head. For me, what I wanted to actually write more cohesive songs rather than songs that were like lots of variations on parts, 25 riffs per song. I wanted to write songs with 7 parts that sort of like really worked really well together. And I am a huge fan of tragedy. And so obviously the His Hero Is Gone is right there because same members. His Hero Is Gone, and also Union of Uranus, who had the same guitar player as all those bands. So that to me came up because when I listen to stuff like that, or not Set It Off. What's the band? Set It Off. Anyway, basically like D-beat stuff. To me, when I listen to that stuff, to me, it's walking music. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
Like I'm going for a walk along the lake or whatever, and I always put on D-beat because to me it makes me want to go. Like it's just go music. So it just became it was almost inadvertent. Didn't even try and go for that whole D-beat Crust thing, but to me it felt good to play it. Yep. and it felt good. The tempo of that also felt really good, and of course the black metal influence was so obvious. So
cool. No, awesome. Thank you. How do you feel this new record differs from the last record? I know it's been a bunch of years between it, but how do you feel they differ?
Oh, they're really different. The last record, it was our sort of last attempt at putting together something super cohesive. I think we succeeded, but I think we were kind of a jumble of influences. But this new record is really focused, refined. It really does have a lot of that whole D-beat Crust thing, but it also has a lot of the black metal thing. And there's some straight up like chug parts that are just meant to have the kids move a little bit. So yeah.
Cool. All right. So there's one song in particular on The Darkness that I kind of want to talk about.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that's Summer Wanes. And the reason why I want to talk about that song is it kind of mixes all the elements of the band in one fell swoop. Like if I listen to that song and I play it for somebody and they like that, they're going to like your band. That's the way I feel. All right. So can you kind of talk about how that song came to be? And like, there's just this monster breakdown on that song that like makes me smile. And like that, I think that's what it is. All right. So could you kind of talk about how that song came to be?
Yeah, so what I kind of did was, and not just me, it's Trev as well. So when I say
Yeah.
me or I'm really referring to Trevor and I being songwriting partners or a team. I just wanted to make sure that was clear. But what I tried to do was tried to approach it like if I was trying to listen to a really great song, and I was listening to it, what would I want now? Like has it been going on really fast for too long? Is it boring? Like, the thing about a lot of black metal is it just bores me to tears because it's just fast all the time. And so I'm always appreciative of the black metal band that have the ability to switch it up. By the same token, I'm always appreciative of a lot of the hardcore bands that can also change tempos instead of being mid-tempo mosh all the time. So to me, it was, am I bored yet? And if the answer is I'm bored, then I'm going to switch something up. Something's got to happen. Something's got to change. So to me, putting all those elements together, and I remember specifically thinking, I think the end of this song should be a little bit more melodic, like black metal, whereas the beginning and the middle of the song was more crust, so yeah.
Cool. No, thank you so much. So are you pleased with the overall outcome of the new record? Is there anything you wanted to change after hindsight and getting to hear it?
What's really funny is that I mixed the record myself. I just wish that I could have, I wish there was a way I could have, like, I could go back and tweak things. When you mix a record, like, you're just constantly and endlessly tweaking tone. When I give it the car test, I think, okay, maybe that snare isn't as loud as it should be, or maybe the kick doesn't hit the way I want it to. I would say overall, though, I'm really pleased with it. The last track, which was sort of like the final breather in the end, was a friend of mine. I used to be a plumber when I lived in Philadelphia, and a plumber friend of mine is also an electronic musician. And we talked about it, and I was like, I would really love to have your take on Darkness, happen in the way that you want at the end of our record, because I love what you do. He gave me that, and I was like, wow, it's so simple, yet it really gives you an uneasy vibe. And so I really appreciate that we one included that, but we also followed along the same aesthetic vibe as that we did on the record we did back in the 90s, Sheer Force, which had also electronic elements and stuff on it as well. So
cool. Very, very awesome. So the reason why I like this record so much is because the guitar tones are brutal and nasty, but there's this like cold melody throughout the entire thing as well too. And I think it's very purposefully done with your vocals. Like when you're not so brutal hardcore in your vocal style, like the guitars get more melodic. And I kind of wanted to talk about that for a minute. And it's kind of a constant, I don't know, phase throughout the entire record. You can tell like when your vocals are going to change by the guitar tone that's happening. So.
Okay. I would just say that, the music was written first, without any thought about vocals. And I would just give all credit in the world to Shane for being the professional that he is, for essentially figuring out where the vocals should go, and by following the music and also enhancing the music in a way that I didn't think was possible when we were writing. So I literally take no credit for that. All the credit for that is Shane, 100%.
Well, yeah, he listened and he followed the guitar tones to a really cool level. So
he did, yeah, he did it. I actually, let me think about it. I don't think there was one thing that needed to be changed when he recorded everything, because we did everything. He lives in Cleveland, so we did everything separately. When he recorded everything, I literally plugged it in the mix, tweaked the mix, obviously, but I don't think I changed anything about his placement. I don't think I changed anything or said, I think you need to record anything. It was just perfect the way it was. Like, again, I give all credit to that guy for being the professional that he is, for sure.
Do you want to do any live shows with this, or is this going to just be a studio kind of thing moving forward?
Oh no, we've been practicing for months now, just like
Nice.
yep. So we're going to be playing sort of a record release, even though the record's out and the record's almost sold out. We're going to play in October around here, and then we'll see what happens after that.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, so then if you could make a proper video for this album, what song would you want to do and why?
Probably Light Opaque, even though it's long. I feel like Light Opaque takes you on a bit of a journey. The second half really has like almost like I perhaps was on a journey with my fellow little people, and we were on to Mordor, you know, just like on our way.
Nice. I am good with that.
Yeah.
If we could take one of the songs off of this record and you could have anybody make it their own, rework it, re-record it, who would you want to have and why?
And rework it. Do you mean the mix, or do you mean like
No, they'll take the song and make it their own. Like they'll make it whatever their style is. What band would you love to see take a Spread the Disease song and make it their own?
do a version of it?
Yep.
Oh my. You know, it's gonna sound cheesy, but I would love to hear Cradle of Filth do a version of our songs, because we were so influenced by Vampire. Like back in the 90s, Vampire is like perfection. Such a great record. And we were so influenced by that for me, perhaps if Nicholas Barker was still doing that, like maybe him with the rest of the original guys in the band or whatever. Yeah. Let's say that.
Agree. I agree. The first 4 Cradle records are just mind-numbingly awesome. They're like fantastic.
Yeah, I know it's not cult to say that, but I don't give a shit. They're fantastic. What great records.
Are you kidding me? Principle is like one of the most brutal sounding records I've ever heard. Come on. I don't care what people say.
I know.
Yeah, no, it's cool, man. So now that you've had some time for people to give feedback and stuff to the record, has there been anything that you've heard that in a positive or negative way that have like really changed your outlook on that on your new album in any way, shape, or form? Like something that was like, oh wow, I never looked at the band like this before. Oh yeah, I never heard this, you know, something like that before. So
You know, the biggest thing was that a lot of people have been mentioning just how tight the musicianship is. And even, I mean, we have a new drummer, so our drummer is a beast of a drummer. He's fantastic. And whenever people see the sort of like live footage that we've been putting up, just like little teasers, people are really impressed by just how like together and tight and heavy it sounds. That's one. Two, I've had a lot of people say to me, like, I can't believe that you're 52 years old and you're still playing this kind of music. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of can't believe that too. Like, what happened? So here we are.
cool.
Yeah.
Is this going to be something you're going to do another record for sure, or is this record and we're going to see moving in the future?
No. There's definite plans to write new music, and to write new music with Colin, who plays bass with us now. Definitely, and he's a beast on bass and guitar as well. So I have a feeling that we'll dive into a lot more of the Crust element. The black metal will still remain, obviously. I think whatever's new, and we should be writing new stuff probably within the next month or so. I think that's when we decided we're going to start writing new. I think whatever happens will be probably the natural extension of what we've done on this record. My goal is to put out a split, because back in the 90s, that's what we did. We put out split records with other bands, and I really loved it. I just really loved doing that. So, my goal is a split, which means 20 minutes of new music, which I think is, a good goal to work towards. But if we don't do a split, then maybe we'll just do a one-sided 12-inch or something, like just like, and because we're all adults and we have jobs, or I'm in grad school, and because we're busy, sort of waiting around for a bunch of years to put out another full length seems probably unlikely. I would rather just get stuff out quicker and just put out multiple EPs rather than a full record. No, I mean, we may have like difference of opinion on that. So don't take what I'm saying as gospel, because those other guys might have another idea. Maybe they'll outvote me or something. But yeah, that's my ideas about it anyway.
Cool. So I want to talk about the artwork on the cover,
Yeah.
first of all. It
Yeah.
feels very out of place, but yet it feels perfect for like listening to the music at the same time. Like, where did the artwork come from, and why did you use the artwork that you have currently for it?
Oh yeah. So a friend of mine who goes by Church of Mui, MUI on Instagram, is a photographer. He lives in Germany, and believe we got in touch because he knows my bands, and that's just how it developed years ago. And I think I mentioned to him, I was like, wow, these dark forest photography that you're doing is just like really amazing. Like it's just so good. And it basically came around, and he was like, yeah, if you want to use them, then you can. And I was like, really? And then as soon as he said that, I was like, oh my God, like, first of all, thank you for trusting me to show your work in the proper light, because the photography is so dark that the music needed to be dark. Aesthetically, it all needed to work. I think maybe perhaps what you're getting at is something different. Like, is your question, how does this fit in with previous releases we've done in terms of our entire canon?
Yeah, that's where I'm going. Yeah.
Okay, fair. I just wait until you see the Sheer Force repress, and you'll think twice about all that, because it looks completely different.
Does it?
Yeah, I'm in love with the idea that you can do things in a completely opposite way that you should, or you're supposed to. When it came to the repress of the new record, I told the label, I was like, the next one, the first one is in yellow vinyl. Mm-hmm. I said, it's got to be pink. And he's like, why? I'm like, because it's the least metal thing I can think of. So that's kind of that is kind of like even though the whole record is very dark, behind it all is just jokes and laughing, and that's literally all we want to do, which is why I decided to grow my beard today, and the last little while to talk to you. So, because jokes and laughing.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, there's a band called Chat Pile, and all their records are pink too, and they're absolutely brutal. So you know what? More power to you.
Hell yeah! I don't care about other people's expectations. I just want to do fun stuff, And cool. Like we've had reviews that said, "Oh, it's cliche, the whole forest thing." The thing is, I know that's why we did it. It's like you're not putting one over on me by saying that. Like, obviously, no shit. But the photographs are so good that it just made complete sense to do it.
That's very cool. So I was going to ask about the represses of the old records. Like, how's that coming along? Are you happy with it? Do they sound different at all to you now that you've like got them reworked and cleaned up or whatever? Or
yeah, so We Bleed sounds much fatter, just much bigger, because we had it remastered. And the Sheer Force record that's coming out, that's a super limited repress. That actually sounds fatter too. That's remastered as well. New artwork, everything. And also we did put out another record called Tragedies, which is essentially a compilation of our 7 inches plus some live stuff we did on the radio. It's like a collection of our early stuff. And all of that stuff has also been remastered. I would say that definitely everything remastered sounds much better. Am I in love with any of those recordings? No. but
Okay.
by no means am I at all. But that's okay. It was what it was, and we didn't have budgets back then. You know what I mean? Like we recorded at professional studios, but it was all so rushed. It was just like get it done. So there wasn't a lot of attention to detail in the way that I would do now.
Well, let's be honest. I'm sure Eulogy didn't have a ton of cash at that time either. They were a pretty small label. So.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, yeah, what are you gonna do? I believe they probably did. Yeah, they probably did do something, but not very much. I don't really remember.
Yeah, cool. Um, Playing live because you said you're going to start doing some shows and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you want to play more in a hardcore vein or more with metal bands? Like, which one do you feel more at home playing with?
Oh, I would do any and all for sure, 100%. Literally 100%. I'm good with all of it.
Is there one in particular that you would want to kind of like jump into the pool first with, or?
Mm, no, no.
Okay.
I mean that's really it. Like I don't mean to sound old like an old guy, but like you start to have like even when your standards go up as you get older, like there are some things that you just don't you realize you don't have to have that many opinions about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't have a ton of opinions about that kind of thing. Like if we're gonna play a cool hardcore show, awesome, or a cool metal show, that's cool too. Like all good.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
What is the massive love of vinyl for you? Like I always love to ask and find out like why is vinyl so special to you in general?
Well, I mean, one, there's sort of like multifold answer. One, I always prefer vinyl to CDs, for example, because the artwork was bigger. First of all, second of all, I prefer any physical media over entirely digital because while digital is easy, it also feels cheaper, and also feels less important to me, which is not what I think necessarily about all art in general, but in terms of music, if something is just on digital and there's nothing in the world, then I'm just not as hyped about it. I've done lots of music that's just digital only, and while I'm happy with that music or proud of it, it just doesn't feel the same as when it's out on physical media. And yeah, and cassettes too. Like cassettes are cool. I dig them,
Yeah.
but vinyl is king. That's just the way it is. Vinyl is king
No,
for
that's
sure.
fair.
Yeah.
So here's kind of a question outside the box. So between the time that Spread the Disease disappeared and came back, I know you worked on a bunch of music. What was your favorite project and why?
Well, it may sound like I've been preparing for this, but one I would say there isn't one, but I would say one is right after the pandemic, my older band New Day Rising got back together and wrote 5
Mhm.
songs. And so that band is actually has those songs are finally making it to vinyl, and actually the pre-order for that is next week. So
Very cool.
um, I would say those songs are really great. Unlike Spread Disease, which sort of like tread in the same general waters, like same like black metal vibe, and went harder into that. The new Spread the Disease stuff is really the new Day Rising stuff is really a departure from what we've done in the past. So
Okay.
I appreciate that too because I like to do wide and varied things, and those guys in that band, which also includes Trev, who's also in Spread the Disease, but the guys in New Day Rising um were my musical education. Like that band started in '94, and I pretty much owe everything that I am as a musician to those guys. Just like feeding off of each other and learning the lessons of songwriting together. And I would say that, just as if I have to say something about that in particular, while the vocals are amazing and I can't praise them high enough, I would say that the one person who really stepped up on that new Day Rising stuff is Adam, the guitar player Adam. He's just a really super creative guy, and I felt honored to sort of be a part of what he was coming up with. So it almost felt like it wasn't my band. It felt like I
Gotcha.
was like just contributing to these awesome other guys' music. I don't know. This sounds weird, but yeah.
No,
Anyway,
no, fair enough.
yeah, but I would say that besides that, when I was in Philly, I was in a space rock band, lots of delay and pedals and basically stoner music. I was in a space rock band called the Formless Form, which I really loved as well. But yeah, anyway,
No, cool. Thank you.
yeah.
What's your thoughts on the resurgence of heavier guitar based music? I feel like there's like this revival in the underground now, all of a sudden, where kids are picking up guitars again, starting hardcore bands, starting metal bands, where for like a 10-year period, it felt like we may be a dying breed.
Uh,
Where, how do you see what you did 20 years ago bringing in the next generation of this kind of music?
mm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about direct correlation or anything like that, but I've been told by many people that the stuff we were doing in New Day Rising and Spread the Disease absolutely birthed a whole other sort of generation of kids
Okay.
that ended up really making a lot of money doing it and really ended up doing a lot of tours and stuff. I take nothing away from them. Hats off to them for putting in all the work, 100%. But yeah, I've been told that we were sort of like it's like we were the not the forefathers. God, the music has been around long before us.
Right.
But yeah, yeah.
No, very cool. So what I'm going to do is kind of wrap it up a bit here and say like over the next 5 or 10 minutes, just talk about what the next 6 months of you musically. It doesn't have to just be Spread the Disease. Whatever you're doing over the next 6 months, what's going on?
Yeah, so obviously, Spread the Disease is a focus for me. I would like to I would like to think that New Day Rising will end up jamming soon because we have a record coming out, but I can't promise anything like that. Like we're all the guys in that band are all really different people and all have different lives. So whether that happens or not, we'll see. Um, yeah, and there's a another project that I have that a lot of material is written for called Secret Fires. And
Nice.
Secret Fires is like a sludge band.
Oh,
Yeah, like a noise sludge band. So that's it's kind of in the realm of the Omen Astra record that I did
okay.
back a bunch of years ago. But this is much dirtier. And we'll see what happens. We're just trying to find a drummer. Who knows what happens? Drummers are hard to find, especially good
Yes.
ones. But yeah, there's even some talk about perhaps trying to do Omen Astra. Like who knows? Who knows? Like it's difficult to say. I'm also going to be extremely busy because I'm in grad school.
Yep.
I'll be making a lot of art and writing a lot of academic stuff. So um, there's no plans, but there's plans. You know what I mean? There's nothing like that's happening definitively or for sure. But I'm always creative and always creating. And what is it? A friend said to me about, they were like, you're like the engine. Like stuff gets done because you are like, you just keep going. You're the engine. I'm like, I guess that's true. So
Very cool. No,
yeah,
thank you. Like I said, I'm very particular on the interviews I do, and this new record just really spoke to me. So I appreciate you taking the time to do this with me, and I'm glad we finally got together to be able to do this. Please don't stop making music, and please don't make me wait another 20 years for a record. That's all I got to say. So,
my man, thank you. And also, I appreciate you waiting for me. Last week just got like really busy, so I
all good.
apologize.
Yeah, it's all good. But like I said, other than that, Clint hanging out with Dave from Spread the Disease, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you again. And like I said, I can't wait to hear new music. So
Appreciate it.